Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cover to Cover. You're here with Mo,
Andrea,
and Morgan.
And today we want to talk about erotica and romance novels, book conferences and awards, and so much more. But first, we wanted to take a quick look at subscriptions that are available to readers. You guys might be familiar with subscription boxes, as they are all the rage these days. There are endless numbers of subscriptions available for all kinds of readers. So we combed through a list and picked out 3 really interesting ones that we liked that you might like too.
you guys should check out Book of the Month. This service allows you to choose between a suggested list of new releases each month. You pick a few and they arrive at your doorstep, and it keeps you in the know of new releases and makes some great suggestions you might not have thought to read. So prices start at $14.99.
And I recommend the Book Voyage subscription for anyone wanting to go on an adventure from the comfort of your home. You'll receive a popular book from around the globe each month, and it's translated into English. You'll also get a native tea or coffee to sip while you read, so you can truly feel like you're traveling to faraway places. Prices start around $20.
And you can also check out the Book Drop if you want a more independent book experience. This service is run by indie bookstores that want to help you find hidden gems. They offer themes to choose from each month, so you can get something new in a genre that you already love, like The Jane, which is historical and contemporary novels, or The Earnest, which is action and thriller. You can also find books in young adult or children, and prices start at just $16.99. So with inexpensive prices like that, it makes for such a good gift, don't you think? I would love for somebody to buy me a couple of months of a subscription box as a present.
I know, and I love when things just show up at your doorstep. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can, and then someone's making these suggestions for you and recommendations, which is super cool. One that I keep seeing all over Facebook is Once Upon a Book Club.
Oh, yeah.
And that one looks really cool because in that one, so you get this box of like little gifts and you have your book, but they're all wrapped up. And you can't open them until you get to the right page, and it'll have like a sticky note and be like, open the yellow bag or whatever. And so you get to go open your bag that goes along with your book, and I think that's such a cool one.
That's so cool.
I don't know if I could wait. So I would
Really?
Yes, I would want to open it all up.
That would make a really good DIY present. Like, we could do that for like our best friend for their birthday,
Yeah.
get them the book that they need to read and give them little presents to open along the way. That is so smart.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Well, guys, I personally, I've been thinking about starting a Book of the Month club.
Yeah.
What would you like to see in that Book of the Month club?
Is it like a subscription service?
Yes.
So I like the idea of having a book, but then also things that go along with
Yeah.
it so that you can experience a little more.
I think it's interesting going along with our like erotica theme is like it comes to your doorstep, so you don't have like any of the shame.
There's
of,
no
like, if
embarrassment.
there's no embarrassment, there's no judgment because like no one else is seeing what's in your package.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of interesting if you're going to do a book club and you have like some
So
of those
Andrea would
themes.
like an erotic
No,
novel.
possibly. Okay, stop.
Will you guys let us know in the comments what you would like to see? What would be a great subscription? Maybe
Yeah.
the types of books, the number of books, the things in the package.
And maybe
I'd
like the
love to know.
price range, like how much
Yeah.
you're willing to pay.
Yeah. So it might just be me, like putting together your box for
Aw.
all 5 of you. Which one of them will be my mother-in-law, myself, and then maybe 2 other people. But
Maybe
just-
one for each of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget the little guys. Come on.
So let me know what you'd love to see, and I'm thinking about putting something together.
That's awesome.
Get more people reading and reading different stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of subscriptions, I'm sure that there are also services out there for those who do want to receive romance or erotic novels in the mail. And erotic novels, it's not a shocking thing to see on bookshelves these days, right? 50 Shades of Grey, the best-selling book series, has definitely helped put the genre on the map a little further, made it more prevalent. But there was definitely a time when it was a huge scandal to talk about these things.
270 years ago, the scandalous novel Fanny Hill, or Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure, hit the shelves. First published in 1748, this story chronicles the story of an aging courtesan who looks back on her scandalous life. It has been censored throughout history and is currently getting the cut from a college curriculum. Judith Hawley, professor of 18th century literature at Royal Holloway, University of London, said that the text is being dropped after decades as per requests from the students. The content was sometimes too much for students, and they will be dropping it and adding trigger warnings for other assigned texts.
So I think it's really interesting that young people were unable to handle the content in this book that was written
I'm
200
shocked.
years ago. Because we have come a long way in 200 years.
And you look at what's on TV, in movies, I'm shocked by this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read this book, but I mean, we were discussing
makes me
college
want to.
curriculum. Oh my goodness.
I know, they ban it and it's like, okay, so
Yeah.
where can I get my
But I mean, that's something that you might have to expect when you're taking literature, when you're majoring in British literature or whatever literature.
Yeah.
You know, just like if you're going to major in painting and art, you're probably going to have to do, you know, one of those classes where like a naked person stands in front of you and you're painting them. You know what I mean? It's just part of the package
Or you
sometimes.
just major in history, and you learn really bad and uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
You have to.
I mean, college is one of those all-encompassing things. I mean, if you're going to come out a well-rounded person and know your craft, then you kind of have to know all of it, not censored pieces of it.
Not just like selectively. You have
Exactly.
to know the whole thing. Yeah, and college is all about stepping outside of your comfort zone. So maybe it's good if that book makes you uncomfortable. Like maybe you should be uncomfortable a little bit in your life.
Well, guys, I really want to know what's in that book, so if you've read it, please let me know. And it might be on my read list when I go to the beach.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just want to know.
Well, we will definitely be checking that book out one way or another. And writers of romance novels may have some other competition on the horizon. As artificial intelligence gains more traction, we've discussed the possibility of AI writing books, but some scientists are planning on doing full-blown novels in the next few decades. But one thing we do not have to wait for is AI-generated romance book titles.
Software developer and science writer Ella O'Brien recently blogged about her experiments with AI naming techniques. She fed over 20,000 Harlequin romance novels into a system and asked it to generate its own book titles and author names. The results came back 90% amazing and 10% nonsense. Some of her favorite books were Becoming the Baby Count, Seductive Mistake, Christmas with Her Blackmail, and Naked Hot Ranger, which she thought was a little too on the nose.
I think this is hilarious because the best part about those cheesy romance novels is seeing their titles all laid out, right? Like if you're checking out at the grocery store and they're all just right there, and you don't want anyone to know that you're looking at them, but you need to know what they're all called.
Yeah, you're just kind of doing that like scoop eye.
Yeah. I love it. So funny. I would enjoy hearing more amazing fake titles of romance novels, so everybody give us your best suggestion.
Yeah, or your generated suggestion.
Yes.
Ooh, do y'all have any suggestions?
I like the one that said like something about the baby count. I think if you could use the word like hot or sultry in anything, even if it was just like the sultry blender, like what does that even mean? But like that could be a book. I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Love it.
Do you have one, Morgan?
Well, I'm wondering if this technology can actually produce the book.
I think we're definitely going to get there. They just need to feed a few more Harlequin books into it to get a good like algorithm together.
Yeah, that one, the Naked Hot Ranger, that was very close.
Right on the nose.
That was,
yeah. Pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of real life authors who can write some hot and heavy content, Diana Gabaldon, author of the epic Outlander series, will be the keynote speaker for the annual Festival of Books at Bookworms in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And this festival is going to take place from September 7th through the 10th.
Gabaldon's Outlander series has been on the New York Times bestseller list, and she has sold over 28 million copies worldwide. It has become a well-loved series and has a popular TV show adaptation on the Starz network. Are you guys familiar? Well, Mo, you're familiar with it.
I am so glad that you asked that question. You guys know that I love Outlander. Outlander is this intense book series. Every book is like 1,000 pages long. I'm never going to finish it. It's insane. And there's like 7 or 8 or 9 books out. And over the weekend, I found this at the thrift store, this companion novel that breaks down all the histories
you love
inside
companion
of it. I love
novels.
companion novels. But it's a really interesting book series, unlike anything I've ever read before, because it is kind of a historical drama. So it chronicles real life historical events, but it also involves time travel and magic and adventure, which are like all 4 of my favorite things wrapped up into one. And yes, there are elements of romance and perhaps at times erotic things, which is why it's a perfect adaptation for the Starz network, because give the people what they love. But if you guys haven't checked it out, like what are your thoughts about all those things I just said?
Well, I have A follow-up question for you.
Okay.
What do you guys think about like erotica novels being turned into these series, like Stars and all of that? Like we have Game of Thrones and we have Outlander, but I mean, like in these series, you're tying real humans to this book, like two characters, you know.
Yeah.
But in a book world, you can do whatever you want. But when you kind of make it a real thing, what are your thoughts?
If it's done well, it's good. Like Game of Thrones, people love because it's done pretty well. And I think people feel that way about the Outlander series. I mean, it's going strong. So it is tricky casting characters that you love, though, right? Because if they get it wrong, you can't really look at it. It's hard to watch.
Yeah. Well, we all agree the books are always better than the show or the movies. So they just got to do it well.
Got to do it well. Good advice, for sure.
Well, let us know in the comments if you love Outlanders as much as Mo does, or if you're thinking about reading it. But right now we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we are going to discuss this year's Hugo Awards and more. So we'll be right back.
Well, lovers of Outlander may be fans of other sci-fi and fantasy epics, so perhaps you were paying attention to Worldcon 75, the epic convention that took place recently in Helsinki, Finland.
Readers and authors gathered from all over the world to celebrate their favorite stories and to await the Hugo Award presentation. The Hugo Awards are the most prestigious awards for sci-fi and fantasy, and this year the award for the best novel went to the book The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. Jemisin is no stranger to winning Hugo Awards, and this book is the second in a series known as Broken Earth. So if you catch up now, you guys can catch a really great science fiction read.
So the Hugo Awards are like a really huge deal. People who love sci-fi and fantasy pay very close attention to this. And so I wrote down just a couple of past winners just to give you an idea of the depth of these awards. Past repeat winners have been Kurt Vonnegut, Philip K. Dick, Ursula K. Le Guin, Isaac Asimov, George R.R. Martin, J.K. Rowling, and Neil Gaiman. So for authors to win awards, especially in the category of Best Novel, this is huge for her career. This is really going to take her places, and it's her second award in a row. She won this award last year, too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to reading this. But what do you guys think? I mean, I know y'all aren't huge sci-fi people, but do award-winning sci-fi books make you want to read them more?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm reading American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and I'm so interested in his work and reading more and more of his stuff. So I think I'm getting into the world, but more by kind of these well-known authors first. That's kind of how I'm dipping my toe into the water.
It's like the gateway.
So yeah, the Hugo Awards definitely brought their names out, and that's a reason that I read them.
Yes, yeah, it helps.
It helps.
Yeah, it helps. It helps create my list because it's a risk. You're always taking a risk. You're investing time and money into a book, so I think I might pick this one up as well.
I know. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I kind of want to go get the first book in the series, and it's going to be ongoing, so there will be lots of books to read.
Well, please, again, let us know in the comments if you've read this series or if you're planning on it. But right now, we're going to offer one more recommendation for today if you don't already have enough. Tiffany has been hard at work reading, and she has an awesome recommendation for us today. So, Tiffany, tell us what's on your nightstand.
Hey, I've got another great book for your nightstand. It's Yes Please by Amy Poehler. You might recognize her as Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec, or you might recognize her from her great impressions from SNL. And now she's joined the literary world with her book, Yes Please. So I want you to know that Amy worked her way up. She had a lot of sleepless nights. There's a whole chapter dedicated to that. There was blood, sweat, and tears. And she's not just a random discovery. She's somebody who really pushed through to make her dreams come true. She's been part of projects that have failed. She's been part of projects that have succeeded. And she's just got a really admirable career that she talks about in her book, Yes, Please. So, Yes, Please is divided into 3 really cool main sections. It's say whatever you want, do whatever you like, and be whoever you are. So if you get nothing out of this book besides those 3 pieces of advice, they're great. The book is beautifully put together, lots of color images, lots of lists, easy to read things, and then you can dive deep into her life as well. She talks about motherhood starting at age 38. She talks about what she considers middle life, and every sentence she does is super funny. So what is middle life to Amy Poehler? It's when you decide you want to eat dinner before 6:30. Okay, so it's full of great advice. The chapter that I wanted to pull out for you guys was one called Talk to Yourself Like You're 90. And she has these little tidbits about it. So get to the point, please. Talk slower and louder. You look great and you're beautiful. So, she gives you these little life lessons in between what she learned on the way. So Yes, Please by Amy Poehler. I want you to buy it in the flash sale today for just 99 cents. This amazing hardback book for just 99 cents.
Thank you, Tiffany. We love Amy Poehler and hope that everyone who has not read that book goes out and gets it right now because she is hilarious. And we also love this idea of giving yourself advice from your 90-year-old self. So we thought that we would just go ahead and give some advice to our younger selves. What would you guys like young you to know from old you?
I feel like older me would say to take chances because you're probably going to regret the chances that you didn't take more than the ones that you did take. So that would be a huge one for me. Also, maybe not spend as much time on your phone and spend more time with your family and friends. I think that 90-year-old me would want that.
I think 90-year-old me would tell the 18-year-old me some things that I'm already thinking right now, but that might actually change. Like, don't go into so much student loan debt.
Smart.
maybe. But also for me, I'm a pretty serious person, and I think 90-year-old me would say, hey, have some fun, calm down. There's always going to be time
For work, so have some fun. Don't be so serious all the time. I mean, I'd really lighten up, guys. I used to be like really serious. So I've lightened up a lot, but I think 90-year-old me would still tell me today, like, go have some fun.
Nice. Cool. I think 90-year-old me would just remind young me that you need to go on more micro adventures because I tend to think of things as either like all work or all play. But when realistically you have all this in between time that you could be spending more effectively to just like go out and live life like a couple hours at a time, right? So take more like small adventures, like do more in your city because we live in such a cool place and there's always something to do. So just invest more time in that and just do things that make you smile.
That's a really good one. I like that.
Yeah.
One that something I thought I was looking at, advice from 90-year-olds online to see, what people were saying for younger generations. And one person, I thought this is such a cool idea. She said, write an obituary. So write your own obituary. And I think it's a cool idea to actually write like what you've accomplished so then you can be proud of those accomplishments, but also maybe see where you might be lagging, some things that you haven't accomplished yet, and then maybe you can write like your dream obituary as well.
I like that.
It's like a vision board.
It is, yeah.
Where do you want to be?
Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Wow. I'm just feeling so very deep right now. So many things to think about.
Well, let us know what you think, what advice you would give, and even what advice you would give us, except, Mom, please don't. You don't need to post all this stuff. But let us know, and maybe if you write your own obituary, like, what do you want to be known for? Let us know if you do that exercise and how it impacts you. Anyway, we got to go, but if you share this post and send us a message, we would love to send you a free t-shirt.
Yay!
So in your message, tell us your size, your style. We got V-neck and crew neck options and your address, and we'll get that out to you.
And don't forget about the flash sale after this episode. So you can get your copy of Yes, Please for 99 cents, and we'll have that link for you.
Thank you guys so much for joining us again today. We hope that you have a great week. I'm Mo.
I'm Andrea.
And I'm Morgan.
And we will be back on Friday, August 18th at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. So until then, keep reading, writing, and being awesome. I know we will. Bye.
Bye.